Hi, and welcome to another edition of State Champs W's Ready, Set, Cheer podcast, a weekly show dedicated to competitive cheer and dance in the Great Lakes states. My name is Antonette Phelps, a former NDP and MSU cheerleader. Alongside me is your other host, Sydney Cariel, our State Champs W host, and Ready, Set, Cheer is presented by Lawrence Technological University. The Blue Devils cheer and dance teams are recruiting student athletes right now. Academic and athletic scholarships are available. You can recruit yourself by visiting ltuathletics.com.
Yay!
Right. Hi, Sydney.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. Man, I cannot believe January's over.
I know. It's been a crazy month.
It has been. In some ways, it flew by really fast, but then in other ways, it was a little slow.
Yeah, I think everyone would agree with that.
Yeah.
So, Sydney, the Mich Comp Cheer came out with rankings for the end of January.
Yes.
So let's talk about that a little bit before we get started with our guest today.
Yeah, a lot of good scores.
Yes. So let's start with D1. The highest total score as of now is Rochester Adams with a score of 789.50.
Wow.
And then close behind them, L'Anse Creuse North, Plymouth, and Stony Creek.
Yeah, that's good. That's really good.
And then we have the D1 highest average scores, also Rochester Adams with 784.92, Stony Creek, Brighton, and Rochester.
Yeah, we've seen some good routines out of them too as well. So if we look at D2, the highest total scores here, Allen Park, 794.16. That's wild.
Yeah.
And behind them, Carlson, Southgate Anderson, and Cedar Springs. So Allen Park, I mean, that is a crazy high score.
Yeah, so if you look at Allen Park with 794 and then Rochester Adams with 784, well, actually, if I'm looking at the highest total score at 789, Allen Park actually has the highest score as of right now across all of the divisions.
Yeah, and in D2 too. That's awesome. So their highest average score right now is Allen Park's is 786.25, and then Carlson's behind them along with Southgate Anderson and Reith's Puffer. So another good division.
Yeah. And then we have D3, the highest total scores. Richmond was 789.78, Paw Paw, Notre Dame Prep, and Croswell Lexington. And then for D3, the highest average scores, now this one switches up, Notre Dame Prep, with 769.80, Richmond, close behind, Paw Paw, and Armada.
Yeah. And then in Division 4, the highest total score here, Hudson, 756.28. Behind Hudson, Merrill, Memphis, and Mason County Central. And then the highest average score, Hudson again, comes in at 736.39. Madison, Memphis, and then Breckenridge with one of the highest average scores.
Yeah. Hudson's going to be a hard one to kind of catch up to, I think. But.
Yeah, I think so too. But Allen Park, man.
I know.
That is a high score for Division 2. And like you said, the highest in all of the divisions.
Yeah. And like we always talk about, it's all those Rochester schools in Division 1. But like, L'Anse Creuse North snuck in there. Plymouth, Brighton's always very strong. So
yeah, this stretch in February is going to be wild to see how it all ends.
Yes. All right.
We are joined now by MHSAA's Kathy Westdorp. Kathy, thanks for joining us for this podcast today. We're really happy you're here.
Well, thanks for asking. It's a pleasure to be here and to meet the two of you.
Yes, same. So I guess just to get started here, what is your role with MHSAA and in regards with competitive cheer?
Well, girls competitive cheer is one of 12 winter sports here and 32 total sports at the MHSAA. And I have been provided the enviable position of having oversight of girls competitive cheer as one of those sports. So it means tournament planning, rules and regulations, format information, rules requirements. I'm a long-time educator as an administrator and athletic administrator and coach and official in the schools. So this has been a great opportunity also to work with coaches, officials, and all participants within the sport.
Yeah, definitely.
Kathy, can you provide us a little bit of history on girls competitive cheer, as well as the philosophy behind having girls competitive cheer in place as a sport?
Absolutely. It's one of my favorite things to do. This sport was discovered in 1994 by the Michigan High School Athletic Association. We welcomed it, the sport of girls competitive cheer, to a list of already many sports, of course, which were offered with end-of-season tournament opportunities. This is the 28th year of the sport, if you can believe that.
Wow.
And it was put into place by MHSAA Representative Council, that's our ruling body, as another sport opportunity for young women in the winter season and specific to the winter season. Regulations were written which assisted in reinforcing coaches' understanding of MHSAA committee information. It provided girls' competitive cheer opportunities to student athletes under the same regulations as all other interscholastic sports. So the sport format was really created by Michigan cheer coaches and athletic administrators with a purpose of providing consistent rules for a sports season. And the format allows teams to perform all aspects of cheer techniques and styles, and it's designed, quite frankly, to promote athleticism, because I know a little later we're going to talk about how athletic this sport really is. And it does meet the criteria of our Office of Civil Rights in the U.S. Department of Education, because we have coaches who conduct practices to teach and train athletes. They have a schedule of meets. They have rules for the sport while participating in contests. We have officials who are part of these contests. And all of our athletes are also receiving varsity recognition within their schools. So anyone involved in girls competitive cheer, and I guess I want to emphasize this because this is a sport, and this is not an easy sport in any way in your imagination. They have the same responsibilities as all other interscholastic sport coaches, officials, administrators, respect to athletic capabilities, facility safety, good sportsmanship, and collaboration with all entities within the sport.
Yeah, man, I feel like we have the same passion for the sport that you do. How's your passion come from for competitive cheer?
Good question, and sorry for the interruption. I have a lot of passion for young women participating in sport. And in this sport, we have a lot of young women who are in participation. In fact, it has been for a couple of years about over 6,000 in many ways.
Wow.
So that's what I have passion for. I have passion for the allowances for young women to develop learn the life lessons that are a part of sport, but also just to be a part of something athletic and rigorous. That's where my passion comes from. And you'll see that in girls competitive cheer, as you probably have when you've been seeing some of the videos and being at competitions.
Right. Man, we all talk about it all the time. You have to be athletic and to do this sport. And it's a grind, and it's just amazing watching. We always talk about when we're at the competitions, it's funny because, we're supposed to be shooting and filming it, but we start to just start watching it, and then we're like, oh man, wait, we need to get back to the camera. But it's just so good that you get distracted so easily. But we kind of touched on it a little bit. If you could give us some insight on how the rules and regulations are created. There's so many different things, and sometimes scores are so close and people might not understand what all the differences are.
It's a great question, because you're right. I don't know if everybody does have a full understanding. We have a girls competitive cheer manual, and the rules and regulations are really created with MHSAA staff, but they come from requests from our Girls Competitive Cheer Committee, which is made up of athletic administrators, our Cheer Association membership, our Judges Association membership. Both of these are both thriving in our cheer community, and they review modifications, safety rules, scoring. The competition format is exclusive to Michigan. So you'll see that there are 3 rounds of competition. And within those 3 rounds, they're different in a lot of different ways. So what I like about girls competitive cheer too is that it is there's a round of competition for everyone, and there's a possibility of utilizing lots of student athletes during that time, and that's what we hope for. We want the option for our young women to be a part of this fabulous sport. And you'll see some of our schools have very, very large teams of girls competitive cheer members also. A little bit about round 1, they look at judging jumps, vocals, floor mobility, team coordination, execution, general impression, difficulty and variety. And then in round two, they're looking at some specific skills that can be chosen, as well as the precision drill. And then that round three comes up, and that's the one that most people love the best. And that is, although I like the other two rounds, I like the other two rounds equally as well. But that's where you come in with execution and floor mobility and vocals and coordination and general impression. Those are all evaluated in round three. And you're right, some of those competitions get very, very close.
Yeah.
Kathy, you started touching on this already a little bit, but sometimes there's still that stigma that cheerleading isn't a sport. Anyone who watches cheerleading know that these athletes train and compete, and really, truly how tough this sport is. It's just not jumping up and down anymore or cheering on another team anymore. There's a lot more into it these days. But how do we change that stigma and, show people that these are actually very highly trained athletes? How do we combat that?
Well, I'd start with coming and seeing some of our district and regionals and finals competitions, because there's a lot to be learned from all of that for sure. And try it and see the training and practice it is all a part of this sport. You'll have a much better understanding of how these athletes train, they compete, and how physically tough this sport really is. Not only are you training with purpose in a complex set of skills, you are exhibiting great teamwork, because each part of the group is instrumental in the design of the routine. You don't have that in every other sport. They are dependent on each other. They are doing they have a complex skill set. They are way beyond. This sport itself is promoted with great athleticism involved. The rules were written to promote athleticism. And so, and that is clearly evidenced when you go to any of the competitions for sure. Don't you agree?
Oh, 100%. Yeah. Always agree. And, right now it's just an all-girls sport here in Michigan, but do you ever think down the road it could turn into a co-ed sport in high school? Because we see that in college a lot, almost every university, really. So what do you think? Do you think it could ever change to co-ed, or what are your thoughts on that?
That's a good question. MHSAA looks at a lot of sports that would like, to be a part of the organization and have a concrete set of rules and tournament series like all others. And we have defined practices in place as to how that could happen. And that's in other derivatives of sport also. Co-ed cheer is amongst those. There are standards and interests that have to be made, before that is reviewed. And in terms of the college piece of it, I never worry about our cheer athletes being ready for competition and available for our college teams. They are some of the most advanced athletes that arrived on campus in the sport of cheer. And that is evidenced by so many of them who are in cheer right now and have been with MHSAA competitive cheer.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
I would too. Did you, just a little background on you, did you ever cheer when you were younger?
I did, but this fine sport was not available to me at that point in time. So this again was developed in 1994. I would like to say that it was available to me at that point, but it wasn't. So, but I've had some the opportunities, of course, in the sideline world in terms of cheer also.
Yeah. Awesome.
And I've had a lot of great opportunities in coaching in general, as well as playing sports, which has been so nice. And that's what, if I were to say something about cheer, what I like the most is that sense of teamwork evolves within it. Those long-lasting relationships are there that are developing during our practices and competition. Don't you both have fine memories of all of that occurring in sport? And these are those long-lasting experiences that these young women have developed. They've developed a great sense of teamwork, responsibility in the sport of cheer, Their coaches are exceptional in what they do. They have great relationships with their coaches. They're in this sport. That's what I strive for. Is the same reason I became a teacher and a coach. They are able to build the character. It assists in developing confidence, that teamwork, that leadership, that self-respect. High levels of collaboration that occur in this sport. They help our student athletes have the ability to handle a variety of diverse situations and work with a variety of people now and later in life. What could be better than all of that in terms of this great sport?
Oh,
so
yeah.
I'm very grateful to have the opportunity with it.
Agreed, 100%. One of my favorite things when I'm out watching a competition is you see during a routine sometimes, especially in rounds 2 and 3, there's a little bit of silence for a quick second when a stunt is getting ready to go up. And then I'll watch the stunt, but then I'll also just look at the crowd. You can just see the parents sitting there, not just parents, but anybody who's in the crowd watching. You just see that they're anxiously waiting to see if this stunt hits. And then the second that it goes up or a tumble lands perfectly, everyone just goes crazy. And I'm not even out there, but I feel so excited for them that they hit it. And then the fans and everybody goes crazy too. That's just I think it just shows how people know that this is so hard and you put it all out there for a minute. Really?
Yeah.
It's not all this hard work for a little amount of time, and the second you hit it, everybody can feel that too.
Yeah. And it's not even just their crowd. It's all of the schools, the other people's parents cheering and the other coaches. And it is a really great environment to be in.
And one of the things I loved last week at a tournament, all the cheer dads there. They were great. We love them. That was awesome.
Don't you love that, though, that experience? And I'll tell you, this is a great... I brag about the spectatorship in this sport. I mean, we see at all of our events, and inclusive of all those regular season events, but our tournament events, these are packed stands that occur. And the other thing I like about it is, there's a little purity to it in terms of that people are really cheering for each other still. It shows a lot of the great things that occur in sport. And the great relationships that occur within sport also, that people are cheering for each other. I love that piece of it. Thank you for bringing it up.
Oh, yeah. Gives me the chills, actually.
And I get the chills every round of competition because I equally think a greatly developed round 1 can give you the same amount of chills as you can in round 2 and 3.
Oh, yeah.
Kathy, is there anything else that you would like our listeners to know about the MHSAA or just the world of competitive cheer in Michigan?
Well, I think the world of competitive cheer in Michigan is going very well. I'm really, really pleased that we have been able to provide these great opportunities for the young women of whom we serve. I'm so grateful for our coaches and officials during these last 2 years because this has been a tough time in sport for sure. And we've been fortunate to have the opportunity to work with so many great student athletes, coaches, officials in this great sport and in others. And it has been wonderful to see that they have brought on the value and values of the experience of these school sports, and definitely in this sport of girls competitive cheer. So I say, if you haven't come out to girls competitive cheer, do it right now because you will have an experience like no other. And I think you both can say that.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. We're right there with you.
I love everything you said. It definitely resonates with me, as an athlete, as I was all of those years cheerleading in high school and college and even after. It really, it builds you as a person and just those teammates and the friends and the excitement of being out at competition. Just everything you said just brings me right back to when I was a senior in high school.
Your excitement and passion makes me want to run through a wall right now. I'm pumped.
Let's do it. You can tell I've got that coach's voice still about me too, right? I am so appreciative for this opportunity because I think that this sport should be continually promoted and applauded for the number of things that have occurred in this great sport of cheer, and all the young women who have been such fabulous participants within it. I'm grateful for that.
Yes. Well, we're happy to give them a platform and to really showcase what they can do. Will you be at States?
Well, of course.
Well, we will too.
Yes.
Will you both be at State?
Yes, we will.
Wonderful. Well, I'll plan to see you there. It will be a great format, and it will be a great great days of girls competitive cheer.
Oh, yeah. So excited.
Awesome. Well, Kathy, thank you so much. We really appreciate you being on, and this has been awesome. Very enlightening and a lot of information about competitive cheer.
Appreciate you both, and thank you so much for the invitation. Have a wonderful, stay warm. You can see some snow in my background here, so make sure you stay warm.
Yes, you too. And we will see you soon. The countdown is on.
All right. Don't be strangers there. Come on. If you see me, come on right up and let's talk.
Definitely.
All right. Take care. See you later.
Bye. Well, Antonette, Kathy was great. Oh my gosh. That we were just talking about it. That just really makes us fired up for the rest of the season here for cheer.
Yeah, she had a lot of great information, and you can tell she's clearly very passionate about it. So I'm excited to see her at States.
Yes, and she's not wrong. Like this sport is a grind, and these athletes deserve the recognition that we are giving her, and then that she really has passion about.
Absolutely. So speaking of that, let's talk about competitions coming up. So it's our last kind of normal week before we go into districts. So all the teams are kind of gearing up. Just to remind everyone, districts is February 18th and 19th. Yeah. So we've got a lot going on because everyone's trying to squeeze in these competitions. So there's obviously more than this list, but these are some that we pulled that we're kind of going to watch.
Yeah.
All right. So here are some competitions coming up for February 9th. We have Bulldog Invite at Granville High School, the CAAC Red Division League at DeWitt High School, CAAC White Division at Eaton Rapids, Downriver League Championship at Allen Park, GLAC League number 3 at Leslie High School, 1 through 8 League Final at Jackson Northwest, MAC Blue number 3 Championship at Fraser. Then on February 10th, we have the Cougar Quad Meet at Stony Creek High School, the MAC Gold Final Meet at Lamphere, and OK White Conference Finals at Northview.
Then on February 11th, we have a list of ones. We'll start with the 3rd Annual Pink Out at Airport High School, Flint Metro League Competition at Fenton, and then the Sterling Heights Titan Invite at Sterling Heights Stevenson, the Tri-County Championship at Hudson. Then on February 12th, we've got a couple more Monroe Trojans Cheer Invite at Monroe High School, North American Spirit at All County Championship at Avondale, the Tower Invitational at Warren Woods, and then lastly, the Trenton competition at Trenton High School. Whew, a mouthful. But we are good. It's going to be a fun next couple of days, that's for sure.
Yeah, we've got a lot going on. So, of course, districts coming up next week. Best of luck to everybody out there. As always, if you want to reach out to Sydney and I, you can message us on social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. You can also email us at readysetcheer@statechampsnetwork.com. And please be sure to follow State Champs W, because then you can see some more cheer content and highlights that we will be posting over the next couple weeks.
Yes, definitely. And we'll be at a couple of these competitions coming up, so be sure to keep a lookout for that. And hopefully your teams will be on there.
All right. Have a great week. Cheers.
Bye.